Hello, and welcome to this lesson on agent clips integration. So, last we left off, we had our agents correctly configured and we had all our materials rendering in Solaris. The next step necessary to bring our agents to life is adding animations to them. Once again, we'll be going to Mixamo and using the rigs that we have created through Mixamo, and we'll be attaching animations to our characters. In a crowd context in Houdini, animations are known as clips or cycles, since they are usually meant to be played in a loop. Unless you have a very specific animation requirement, it's better to have looping cycles when working with crowds. Since it's easier to offset and manage in your scene, we can control both the speed as well as the animation offsets in a looping cycle to avoid repetitive movements. So let's head to Mixamo. In Mixamo, in case you have reset your characters and you don't see your character, we can simply upload the Mixamo rig back into Mixamo to get our agent up and running once again. So you can click on upload character and upload the file that you downloaded from Mixamo. And as you can see, we don't need to re-rig our character. Click next. Now we can head straight to the animations panel. Once in the animations panel, we will look for a few generic cycles that can be used to populate our scene. First, we can look for an idle cycle. Choose an idle cycle that you're happy with. In case you like a cycle but want to make modifications to it, you can do that simply by using these parameters on your screen right. We can see there are some penetrations happening with the dress and the hand. So I'll just increase the character arm space. Once you're happy with your animation, you can click on download. Our final output from Houdini is set to 24 FPS. So we'll select 24 FPS for our animations as well. We need to make sure skinning is set to without skin, since importing the animations with skin can get quite heavy when we have multiple animations that we need to import. Click on download. In our from Mixamo folder, we can make a new folder with our character's name underscore animations and save our animation. Now let's get a walking animation. We need to find a loopable walking animation. And once you find something you like, you can click on download and download the second animation. Let's head back to Houdini. We'll dive inside our agent template once again. And this time, after the agent definition cache, I'll take an agent clip node. So inside the agent clip node, you can import multiple clips. We need to change our input method to FBX and locate our file. I'll first load my idle animation. We can set the name to idle as well and enable set current clip. Set this to idle. Now, if we play it and enable the real time toggle, we can see that our animation is working. Let's take our second cycle. I'll take my walking cycle and follow the same steps. I'll set my current clip to walking as well. Instead of continuously moving in a straight line, our character returns back to origin every time the animation cycle ends. To avoid that, we use the locomotion settings present within Houdini's crowd systems. This calculates the distance traveled based on a master joint and then adds the value every time the animation cycles instead of going back to origin. Our locomotion node for Mixamo rigs will be hips. We'll also input that in our locomotion orient. Still, we can see no difference. Before we can apply locomotion, we need to tell Houdini to convert the animation to an in-place animation. For that, we can click on Convert to in-place animation. Our character is now moving in place. So Houdini has removed the translation values attached to it, which we want to clear out before we can reapply using clip locomotion. We can now apply clip locomotion and see that our character is moving in a straight line. Now, let's apply some animations to a custom character as well. We can head back to Mixamo. I'll upload my character's Mixamo rig and save my idle animation. Next, instead of a walk cycle, let's take a run cycle this time and click on download. Based on your scene, you can control how stylistic you want the animation to be, the speed, as well as the exaggeration for the movement. Since we'll be simulating cloth on this, I will increase the character arm space and click on download once again. We can save this as a second variation for our run cycle. It's always better to have as many variations as you can for each cycle. The more animations you import into your scene, the more variation you will get for your crowds. Let's take an agent clip node once again. This time, we already know that we need to set up our locomotion joints. So let's start with that. We can set both our locomotion node as well as the locomotion orient. Select import as FBX and import our idle cycle. Write the name and set current clip. Now our character has vanished. This is because our Mixamo rig is a different scale than our agent, and we need to turn off convert units before we are able to use it. Click on convert to in-place animation, and now if we play our animation, our legs have started floating. That's because locomotion is not yet applied to our animation. So if we apply clip locomotion, our legs are placed firmly on the ground. Let's take the second animation. We'll be using the same settings. And our character is already running correctly. We can quickly import a second run cycle. Again use the same settings. And our second run cycle is also imported. Similarly, you can go ahead and import as many cycles as you would need for your final scene. It is always important to have at least some idle cycles as well as some walking and running cycles. After you have these generic cycles, you would want to go ahead and think what specific movements you would want in your scene and look for cycles on Mixamo based on that. That's it for this lesson. In the next lesson, we'll start building our crowd systems using the SOP motion part tools present in Houdini. Thanks for watching and see you in the next lesson.